It is a rainy day here in Astoria, Oregon, but that's not going to stop us from heading in and checking out the Columbia River Maritime Museum. The museum first opened to the public in August of 1963, but that was at a different location. This location right here on the waterfront in Astoria has been serving the public since May of 1982. It has been more than 17 years since I visited the museum, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's new and changed since that time. This is quite the artifact. This fishing boat was washed away during the 2011 tsunami in Japan and came ashore at Cape Disappointment, Washington, 2 years later in this exact condition. Do you remember the Put Some Pork on Your Fork ad campaign? This must be the maritime equivalent.
I am your worst nightmare.
Growing up in a landlocked prairie province, I was not familiar with the use of storm flags for indicating upcoming weather, and until I saw this exhibit, the cover of Billy Joel's Stormfront album never made any sense to me, but now it does. This lens is from the North Head Lighthouse, just across the Columbia River in Washington State. We're not going to get a chance to visit it on this trip, but I'll throw a photo up here of it that you can see. It's not my photo, it's a public domain image. And remind you, this will be a great chance to, after you watch this video, go check out the other videos in this series where we visit a number of lighthouses on the Oregon coast. The U.S. Coast Guard, operating out of Cape Disappointment, Washington, is known to operate in some of the roughest seas in the world. And this area, known as the Graveyard of the Pacific, is due to the volume of water being dumped out by the Columbia River into the Pacific Ocean. And you can see the list of ships here that have been lost over the years. Keeping on that theme of shipwrecks and rescues, this is the U.S. Coast Guard Motor Light Boat 44300. Served 35 years and ran its last mission in July of 1996 and is now the centerpiece of this exhibit here at the museum. We've really only scratched the surface of all the exhibits and things that are here inside the museum. You can spend as many hours as you want in here taking in all the displays and learning about the Columbia River and the Columbia River Bar. There's a whole history here that really deserves to be unwrapped further than what I can do in this video. But now, let's head outside and check out something really cool. This is the Lightship Columbia. Commissioned in 1951, it was moored at the mouth of the Columbia River up until 1979. As the name implies, a lightship is essentially a floating lighthouse. When on active duty, the Columbia would have had a crew of 17 enlisted men and 1 warrant officer who were on board 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of the 18-man crew, 10 would be on duty at any given time. The crew would work in 2 to 4 week rotations. As you can imagine, living on a ship like this for long stretches of time, there would be lots of boredom and monotony setting in. I love the old TV. I was wondering how I didn't see that when we came down. But we came down the stairs backwards. Navy showers only. If you've ever boondocked in an RV, you're familiar with the concept of a Navy shower. Essentially, turn the water on, get wet, turn the water off, then you soap and lather up, then you turn the water back on, rinse off, turn the water off. It's a great way to save water. In the winter with the rough seas, they would sometimes have to go weeks in between resupply drops. So you can imagine everything they needed to live had to be on board.
For about 5 minutes.
More crew's quarters. Pass through to the room we were in earlier. I see now how that works. And the griddle. It's like being inside a vintage RV. Mm-hmm. And of course, look at this locking arms on the fridge doors to keep everything closed and in place.
Ribbons.
Is that what it was? Grilled Reubens got crossed out, and fluffy egg salad got replaced with hamburgers.
Burgers.
Oh, yes. That's a good trade. I'd make that trade most days. So I thought we were in luck because there's no rope across these stairs, but all they do is go up to a door that is securely locked and then go back down again. So no access for us. From the decks of the Lightship Columbia, that's going to wrap it up here at the Columbia River Maritime Museum. Thanks for watching.